Gleep, glorp, bleep, blah, 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 blah. This is why I'll never be a rock star. Hey everyone, this is Rabbit Your Animation Bliss, and welcome to another Spotlight Cartoon Corner. So today's Spotlight Cartoon we talk about today is the Jetsons movie, Rockin with Judy Jetson. And before I get into my thoughts about this film, here are a few words from the channel. Alright Animaniacs, now let's get on the social media train. Want to chat with us in 100 words or less? Then check out our Twitter account. Want to chat with us within a group? Then check out our Facebook account. Want to get the lowdown on everything dealing with animation on this channel? Then check all of the above. And now, we return to our regularly scheduled program. So Rockin with Judy Jetson starts off with Judy Jetson daydreaming about meeting Sky Rocker, who's a famous rock star. And it turns out that Judy Jetson wrote a song for Sky Rocker, and she wanted to meet Sky Rocker so she could give Sky Rocker her song. So once Judy Jetson goes and meets up with Sky Rocker, she ends up giving him her song, and Sky Rocker promises Judy that he'll sing her song at his next concert. But unfortunately at the same time, Felonia Funk, who's the film's big antagonist, is threatening to destroy all of music, and she needs to deliver a message to one of her generals that would give the codes to her machine destroyer. And she ends up giving the code to her two bumbly henchmen. But unfortunately, once her two bumbly henchmen go out and try to deliver the message to one of her generals, they end up bumping into Sky Rocker, who also has Judy Jetson's song in his hands, and the papers ended up getting mixed up, and so Sky Rocker ends up getting the secret message that Felonia Funk meant to give to one of the generals of her army, while the two henchmen ended up getting Judy Jetson's song instead. And so once the concert starts, Sky Rocker starts singing Gleek Glorp, which he mistakenly thought was Judy Jetson's song, and Judy Jetson's upset at this because she didn't write that song. She actually wrote another song called Rockin' Around the Galaxy, but because Sky Rocker got her music mixed up with the two bumbly henchmen, he ended up singing a different song. Well, it turns out that Gleek Glorp turned out to be a huge hit song, and everybody around the galaxy loved the song so much that they wanted to meet Judy Jetson, and so Judy Jetson becomes a massive star overnight, despite the fact that she's still trying to tell everybody she didn't write that song. But unfortunately around that same time, Judy Jetson ends up being chased by Felonia Funk's two henchmen, and they try to kidnap Judy Jetson and take her to Felonia Funk. And so Judy Jetson spends most of the film trying to stop Felonia Funk from destroying all of music around the galaxy. So what are my thoughts about this movie? I really enjoyed this movie. Out of all the Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 series I watched when I was a kid, this was the one that I watched the most. And that's probably due to the fact that I have this movie on VHS, so I was able to watch it a lot on VHS when I was little. But anyway, I really enjoyed this movie because it focused on Judy Jetson as a character, and they made her the main character of this particular movie. I really appreciate the fact that this movie focused on Judy Jetson, because in the TV series, even though Judy Jetson was a pretty popular character, she doesn't get a lot of moments to herself, and we don't see a lot of moments where she does other things besides getting into music or getting into boys. And so it's great to have a movie where Judy Jetson is a lot more competent or is a lot more proactive as a character, and we get to see how she's able to think quickly on her feet, as well as see some emotional moments from her, like when she gets very upset at the fact that Sky Rocker sang a different song that wasn't her own. We get to see how upset she is at all of that, and how she wanted to tell everybody that she wasn't the one who wrote that song that Sky Rocker sang. And I enjoy seeing that aspect of Judy Jetson's character, that she's still a very honest teenager. Even if she does make some poor judgments from time to time, we get to see that more honorable side of Judy Jetson, and I really appreciate the film for showing that side of Judy Jetson. And I also mentioned how Judy Jetson is a lot more competent and more proactive in this film. We get to see that Judy Jetson's trying to save the very thing she loves, which is music, and we get to see her trying to fight against Felonia Funk and trying to stop her from destroying all music across the galaxy, and we see how determined she is as a character. And I really enjoy seeing that aspect of Judy Jetson's character, as it shows that she's a lot more mature and a lot more proactive than the TV series give her credit for, and I enjoy seeing that side of Judy Jetson's character. character. And another thing I really liked about this movie is the fact that it focuses around music. I'm a huge music person myself, so I like the fact that this film focused a lot on music, and I really like the songs in this movie, especially Gleep Glorp, which is my favorite song in this movie, and the fact that it revolves around Judy Jetson trying to stop Felonia Funk from destroying music is really amazing to me, and it shows that this movie really cares about how Judy Jetson loves music, and it ties the whole end of the world scenario with Judy Jetson's love for music. So I do like that aspect of this movie. And then another thing I liked about this movie was the villain herself, Felonia Funk. Like, I thought that she was a very interesting villain. Like, not only is she like over the top with her hamminess, but her goal in this movie is very interesting. Like, you see a lot of villains in a lot of movies and TV shows where their end game is to destroy the world or to rule the world. Well, here Felonia Funk just wants to destroy all music, and I thought that was a really interesting end game for her, or end goal for her, because it really sets her apart from the other villains in any other movie or TV show, that she's not focused on destroying the world or ruling the world per se, but she's just focused on destroying all music in the world because she can't stand the word music. Now, if there were some problems I have with this film, is that I felt like Judy's family didn't really take center stage in this movie. And I understand that this is Judy Jetson's movie and is focusing on her, so she's the main character. But I would have liked to see more of Jane in this movie and see what she's able to do with Judy Jetson's situation. I do like the fact that Elroy and George and Astro do get involved in Judy Jetson's adventures, but I would have liked to see Jane get involved in Judy Jetson's adventures as well. Another problem that I had with this film was the animation itself. Out of all the Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 series, I felt like the animation with this particular film was the weakest. Like, there's a lot of animation errors going on throughout this movie. Like, you have some moments where Judy Jetson and her friends have like lipstick, and then the next scene they don't have lipstick, and then there's some awkward shadows around the characters, like left off from where they're being hand-drawn, because this is a hand-drawn animated film, so of course you're going to see a lot of pencil linings throughout the animation. But yeah, some of the animation errors throughout this film did distract me a bit from the film. But overall, I really enjoy Rockin with Judy Jetson. Out of all the Hanna-Barbera Superstars 10 series, this is one of my favorites, or at least the one that has a very interesting premise. I like the fact that this movie focuses a lot on music, and it also focuses on Judy Jetson as a character. And I like the fact that this movie was able to expand more on Judy Jetson's character and make her do more than just swoon over boys and music all the time, but actually have her being very proactive and be very competent when she needs to be. So I do like this film for doing all that for Judy Jetson's character. So that's my review of Rockin with Judy Jetson, and tell me in the comments down below, have you seen Rockin with Judy Jetson? If you have, did you like this movie? Did you hate this movie? And what's your favorite animated film that deals with music? Please let me know in the comments down below. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is Rabbit Small Animation Bliss, and I'll see you guys later.